Penguin Random House Audio presents the Essential Oils Menopause Solution. Alleviate your symptoms and reclaim your energy, sleep, sex drive, and metabolism. By Dr. Mariza Snyder. Read for you by Eileen Stevens. Note to listener: this audiobook includes a downloadable PDF which contains lists of supplies, essential oils and blends, and the 21-day hormone makeover food lists, daily meal plan, and recipes from the printed book. For my husband Alex, who brings joy to my life each day, and who knows almost as much as I do about women's hormone health, thank you for your endless support, delicious taco dinners, and keeping life sweet and full of laughter. Introduction. More than once, you've likely heard doctors, family members, and friends say that it's completely normal to feel a little tired, stressed, and moody, especially near your period or as you approach menopause. Feeling this way is so normal, in fact. There is nothing you can do to make yourself feel better, except pop a pill to manage the symptoms. As an adult woman in today's modern world, you just have to grit your teeth and wait it out, hoping somehow your symptoms go away. That is a big fat lie. What you are experiencing isn't normal. There is no objective reason why you should feel terrible during perimenopause and menopause. Yes, as your ovarian function declines and your hormone levels shift, your body will change. There's no getting around that. But it is a natural, normal process your body was designed to navigate. You can and should experience optimal health during this time, including a good night's sleep, clear thinking, stable moods, and pain-free sex. No matter what your age, you always deserve a body that works for you. And if you are feeling less than your best, you deserve solutions that promote actual healing. Unfortunately, many doctors, even gynecologists, cannot tell you the difference between perimenopause and menopause, or how to treat the myriad of symptoms most women experience during this time of change. And too often they default to treating symptoms with a prescription pad, or dismissing them as natural signs of growing older. Women are still regularly told that exhaustion, sleeplessness, brain fog, low libido, hot flashes, weight gain, and headaches are inevitable with age. I know you've noticed troubling changes to your mood, sleep, digestion, weight, and if you are still menstruating, your cycle. You're probably cursing your hormones, namely that darn estrogen, and struggling to get through each day. You may have even been to a doctor who waved off your symptoms, telling you everything is normal, and you are just experiencing natural signs of aging. Or maybe a doctor told you the only way to feel better is to pop a pill to manage the symptoms. Take the birth control pill, bioidentical hormones, or an antidepressant to ease your discomfort. But there is more you can do. There are lifestyle changes, supplementation protocols, and self-care rituals, including many that incorporate essential oils, that will help you get at the root cause and find balance for all of the hormones playing a role in your symptoms. I am not just talking about your reproductive hormones. I am also referring to your hormones that control your metabolism, stress response, cognitive function, mood, sleep, digestion, hunger, hair growth, and much more. You are a superwoman, but if you're listening to this book, I know you are feeling less than, defeated, and worried. You probably have several of the symptoms I've mentioned earlier. I want you to know, you are not alone. We are in this together. You're the CEO of your own healthcare, and you can naturally restore balance to your hormones and your life. With foundational lifestyle habits including proper nutrition, supplementation, movement, and self-care incorporating the regular use of essential oils, we can reset our hormones, restore health, and transition into perimenopause and beyond with ease and grace, and without debilitating symptoms or medication. The why behind this book. Mom's story. I remember the night my mom finally reached out for help, just like you are doing now. The phone rang late at night, waking me up and startling me. I could hear the fear and defeat in her voice, a tone I have rarely ever heard from her my entire life. As a single mother, my mom, Jody, battled in the trenches to raise my sister Cynthia and me. We struggled for years to get by in a small 2-bedroom apartment, though we didn't realize how much our mom endured until years later. The stress and exhaustion of single motherhood took its toll, but she always persevered. She made such an impression on me that I always wanted to be just like her when I grew up. Graduating from college at age 27, she built an incredible career to show her girls how to succeed. She fought for us constantly, and I always admired her. Her polished look, her determined demeanor, the intentional way she approached life, she made the impossible possible. But, as things tend to do when we neglect ourselves, my mom began to show signs of falling apart. She continually drove herself into the ground, the chronic rush wearing her down day by day until someone we didn't recognize began to show up at home. In a Jekyll and Hyde type switch, she would turn into a woman who flew off the handle, causing us to hide in another room until the bubbly, giggling, and powered mama that we loved surfaced from the darkness again. With the benefit of my medical training, I now know that she was struggling with intense hormonal imbalances. But there was one thing I always knew to be true. My mom always loved us, even when she struggled, even when severe PMS derailed her emotionally and physically. We may not have understood what was going on inside her body and could only react to the outward manifestations of these intense hormonal issues, but we knew she loved us. Her hormonal fluxes only worsened with age. Shocked and overwhelmed by the intensity of her anger, she still went nuclear over minor inconveniences until one day at age 39, she let loose on a stranger who had blocked her driveway. She could feel that stress, irritability, and the "I'm going to snap if one more thing happens" feeling building up inside. But she charged on thinking if she could just get home and relax, it would all go away for a moment. She shocked herself that day. And that was the turning point. She knew something wasn't right inside of her, and she needed help. But guess what? Even after mustering up the courage to make a doctor's appointment, to go in and confess all the embarrassing symptoms, and to be so openly vulnerable as to ask, "Is it normal to want to kill someone during your period?" she got the usual response. The doctor responded, "Yes, it can be," which is an utter lie. Nothing about what my mom was experiencing was normal. The doctor did one good thing for my mom. She validated her symptoms. But in letting her know she wasn't alone, she also committed the giant mistake of normalizing her symptoms. There is nothing normal about them. And she didn't understand that there were root causes driving all of her intense symptoms. Normalizing our symptoms doesn't create hormone balance. It might make us feel a little less alone, but who wants to suffer silently together? But it gave my mama the bump she needed to soldier on until her late 40s, when her hormones took a severe nosedive. Erratic sleep, inexplicable weight gain, severe fatigue, and exhaustion by 4 p.m. consumed her every single day. She pushed through, accepting this as her new normal based on the confidence the doctor had given her. Then the irregular periods began, followed by severe heavy bleeding and hot flashes, leaving her drenched in sweat at work in the operating room. It must be menopause, she reasoned, and she charged on until hot flashes lit her up multiple times a week, and her thin frame carried 25 extra pounds, until insomnia and fatigue pulled her into a tired and wired cycle, and the worry crept back in again. What's a woman in perimenopause to do? My mom reached out to a women's hormone practice in search for solutions, without my knowledge. She knew enough to request blood work on her reproductive, stress, and thyroid hormones, but this doctor told her those tests weren't reliable, and so didn't use them. Instead of digging deeper into root causes, the doctor pulled out a prescription pad and offered her an easy fix, an estrogen patch. Mom was so desperate for relief that she...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?